It's February 16th, northeast suburb of Atlanta. Time to get some of the good stuff started for the spring. So I'm going to start some tomatoes and some peppers today. But first thing I want to show you, if you don't know this trick, you got to learn this trick. This is an old vinyl plastic blind like you have in your windows. Very inexpensive. You buy, there's a couple of hundred of them in a package that you buy at Walmart or one of the other stores. These make great plant markers. Just measure out a little distance, give it a cut, pick whatever size you like, go down, give it a cut. Now, these are plastic. When you write on them with a waterproof pen, they'll last a good long while, and they're pretty nice for starting your plants. Now I'll use these short ones in the pots, and then when I move them outside, I'll use real long ones so I can poke them up and have written on them what they are and can see them without having to crawl down in the weeds and the grass and the plants. But this is like, you really need to be doing this one. Now, I've purchased this flat here with the empty peat pot, and I filled it up with the plant starter mix, and I've wet it down. So before I start planting, I'm going to go through and poke a hole in each one. So there's some place for the seed to land, or for me to aim with the seed. Now to start out with, I don't plant everything. I plant a lot because I really like tomatoes and peppers, so I plant quite a few. But I tend to do just 2 or 3 of each plant. And then as they come up, I'll replant the ones that don't. And then later in the year, I'll try and start some other ones, so I have some other varieties starting into production when the first ones are finishing up. Now that I've got all the holes put in, you can see I've picked this many varieties of tomatoes to start with, and I've already made all the labels. So I'm going to go in here and start putting the labels in the pots. In this case I'm doing 2 each. I like the tomato jet setter, Juliet tomato, which gives you one that's about the size of a golf ball. Very good producer. The BHN 640 and the Florida 91 are both tomatoes that have a lot of resistance. We get a lot of wilts and fusariums here. The standard Bush Early Girl comes out pretty good for me. Usually gives me a good tomato early. And then I just open the seeds. See, this one is the Florida 91, and I'll take 2 seeds and drop them in the hole, 2 seeds and drop them in the hole, save the rest of them. Then I'll move on to the Juliet. A friend of mine over outside of Raleigh told me about Juliets and sent me some seeds, and boy, they did make a nice tomato. This has got some kind of little capsulated seed. I think I picked those up at Walmart. He had sent me a couple, and about the same time I had found them myself. I used seed for 3 or 4 years. I don't really find much difference in the germination. Seeds gotten so expensive, I hate to buy new every year, and since for the most part they give you like 30 seeds and I'm using less than 10, I certainly have plenty of seeds left over. So this will be the Bush Early Girl. That's back to regular looking tomato seeds, no capsulations. I always do two, you know, when I do one, some of them don't come up. When I do two, it's like every single thing germinates. so I can't really win. But I'd rather have to pull one out or cut it with some scissors than have to keep replanting the same stuff over and over again. This last one is the jet setter. It has the, as you can see, it's got the VFFNT. I don't know what all that means, other than it means that it's resistant to a whole lot of things. I did that one wrong, didn't I? Let's move those two seeds over. Get to talking and not paying attention. So that's got my first little batch of tomatoes. Now I'm going to do the same thing here with the peppers. Cajun Bell is a little bit hot. Cubanelles that we just started getting this year at the store. I really like Cubanelles. And the Yum Yum's supposed to be like those little real colorful small peppers that are so super sweet. Big Earlies. I'm going to get these laid out and come back to you in just a minute. So I've got all my labels in here for my peppers. And now I'm going to do the same thing, going through here and putting a couple of seeds in each container. Starting with these Yum Yums. I try to order all my seeds. Just seems like I have better luck. I think they get better taken care of before they get to me when they were kept by one of the big companies. I do end up always Big Bertha. Big Bertha is kind of like a big bell pepper that just somebody gave it a big stretch. And it is a, where's my Big Bertha? I know it's in here. Here's a Big Bertha. It's one of my absolute favorite peppers because I get a whole lot of pepper and not a whole lot of seeds. The Giant Marconi is very similar, but some years the Marconis or the Berthas, they are, one will be better one year than the other one. So I always plant them both. Cajun Bell is a small pepper, but it's got just a little bit of heat to it and some really, really nice flavor. There again, I'm doing 2, sometimes 3 seeds of each. This Margaret's, it's a 62 green red sweet Hungarian. I've planted it in previous years, never had any luck, and the seeds never came up. So I don't really know what happened to that. But I'm going to try them again this year. If it gets cold, I bought a couple of heat mats, so I'll be able to, here's the Giant Marconi's heat map. I think when I've had trouble getting my peppers to germinate, I believe it was because it's just a little too cold here in the basement. You know, and then you got to remember, it is middle of February. So I'm going to be nursing these plants for a good long while here in the house, which makes for a lot of work carting them in and out on warm days and cool nights and whatever. But peppers are one of my favorite foods in the world. Then we try and chop and freeze a lot and put into the freezer. Peppers are always expensive, and sometimes we didn't do too well last year. It was so wet, everything rotted. But in previous years, we have put bags and bags of good chopped peppers. What is this? Biscayne. Where's my Biscayne? There's Biscayne. That's my Cubanelles. We have put back maybe 20-30 bags of chopped, quart-sized chopped up peppers. And it's lasted us just about the whole year. Okay, now at this point, I just want to go through and mash them in. Make sure they're covered up some. I wet this soil down, but it's already drying out. I'll have to get some more water on it. It's the biggest problem I find with starting mixes these days is that it seems like I have two choices: soaking wet or bone dry. particularly here in Georgia, they can put so much chopped up pine bark and stuff in it that it's really hard to get them wet. I'm now going to give these guys a spritzing. I know there's water down inside here, or I'll add some more, but I want to get these top wet on the top. And then I'll go pick out some more plants, because I got a lot more space for some more seeds. Maybe start some basil or some lettuce. Get some more stuff started, because I had quite a bit more space available. But this is a good start on a first round of tomatoes and peppers. So I'll give you some new movies and show you how these guys are coming along. Thank you for watching.